I am in Jefferson County. My office is in Rigby. That's a big county. And I've been here for 21 years and like it so much. My focus is food safety, and so we call it family consumer science. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about tonight is freezer meals. But I'm going to, before I talk about the freezer meals, I'm going to explain why I got to this point. So I have worked every day since I left high school as an adult person, full-time in college. I was either in college or I was working. And then I had children, and I was a working mom, and my goal at the time was to have a meal on the table every evening that was pretty nutritious. I'm not going to say it was always well balanced, but a nutritious home meal. I felt like that was really important, that we gathered at the evening table and had a meal. So as you work, that is a challenge. It's a big challenge. So I use a slow cooker at least once a week, and I also do freezer meals. And then that allows me to have a healthy meal on the table. And you don't want to do this all the time, maybe a couple times a week, but it is a good option to work into your menu. One thing I am is a very strong supporter of having, this is a very heavy board, sorry, having a menu. And there's some very good resources that have been written by Extension educators, Marnie and Laura. It's on the website right now. It used to be Mealtime and Less Time, and now it's eatsmartidaho.org. Did I get that right? Great. And so there, it just teaches you how to plan a menu and what to think about as well. Planning a menu, I always do it by the month, and then I write down what I'm going to have every week on this board. And you wouldn't think that your kids would look at it. I'm sorry. But they do. And when you have a lot of teenagers at home, when they see the menu go up on Saturday, when you put it up, or whatever day you rotate the menu around, they always glance and see what you're having for the week. And they just, anyway, they do. You wouldn't think they'd look at it, but they do. So I have always been a menu planner. My menus kind of change from winter to summer because we eat a little bit differently in the summer, I think. So with that, I have incorporated freezer meals, and I have done it for a very long time, at least 10, 15 years. And I have found that to start small, maybe cook once, eat twice theory, and then maybe do 10 meals and then do 20. I do at least 30 at a time. And then I do my chicken first, do that 1 week, and then the next week I do the beef because they're very different. I'd encourage you, there's some very good websites out there. Once a Month Meals is a very good website, and I think it's on your handouts as well. And there's some really good ones out there to kind of get you started, and you watch little videos on how people put them together. But I really would, first of all, start collecting recipes that you like, that your family likes. You don't want to freeze something that your family's not going to eat. And then collect those recipes. Collect things that freeze well. And a good clue is what you see in the freezer section at the store. And so over the years, I've collected some recipes that my family, I know they like them. I know what things to purchase, and I can incorporate it in. So with that, I'm going to make a recipe and then give you a few tips on some things that is helpful if you'd like to do that. First of all, I mentioned that you do want something that's flavorful. One recipe that I like is chicken divan. I'm going to make that, which I think is a fancy word for broccoli and chicken, but it turns out really well. I'm going to use tins. You can use, on the recipe it says to put in freezer bags, and if you turn to your handout, on the front of it, it just kind of shows, you can see a picture, a little bit of one, of what it would look like in your freezer. Now my freezer kind of looks like this, but I also have berries in there, so the berries are stuffed in there as well. But you can get a lot of meals in your freezer, even a small freezer. I would not go past 3 months. I think you get a very good meal past 3 months. I don't think you get very good quality. Okay, so I'm going to make chicken divan, and with that, super easy. Don't know what to do with my handout. We have broccoli, fresh or frozen. I have chosen frozen because it was on sale, so it was a pretty good price. And this is quite a healthy recipe. Then we have 3 cups of chicken pieces. I like to boil my chicken. I get the big boxes that are 40-pound boxes of chicken. And they come in big amounts. And then that's when I do my chicken meals. I like to boil it in water, and then I have the broth to make a lot of the recipes. I like to, when you first start out, get recipes that have a lot of things in common. So I put some recipes in there that have maybe vegetables or chicken chow mein or some things that are common that you don't have to work so hard. And we'll talk about shopping and some tips as well. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put onions in right now. Put all these loose things, some mushrooms in, some cheese, half a cup plus a little bit, my lemon juice, I feel like Alton Brown. We have curry powder. This is just 1/4 of a teaspoon, so it's not a lot. Some people don't like curry. I just think it gives good flavor. That's not enough to really overpower anything. This is your cream of chicken soup. I like these little spatulas so you can get in here. And the sour cream. I use the fat-free sour cream to save on calories. I think it's much more healthy. It's about 20 calories a serving as opposed to about 90 for regular sour cream. So this is a healthy choice. You notice this recipe does not have salt and pepper in it as well. I got it out of a book where she was a dietitian and her recipes are all very healthy. Just going to make sure I got everything in there. Did I? I did. So I'm going to stir this together. And once it's all stirred together, I'm not going to complete it. I'll complete it in the kitchen. And then I'm going to put them into my tins. And after that, I will top them with a topping. I like to use the French fried onions. I think they're very flavorful. Also, it says breadcrumbs. I'll put half on. I'll put one on one on the other, and then parsley as well. So whatever you'd like to put on the top is great, and whatever kind of suits your fancy. A couple of things that I have found very helpful is this is a frozen, the very same thing we're having tonight. I like to micro bake, so I can pop this out when it's frozen, and I'll put it into a glass container and put it in the microwave for 10 minutes. And then just put it in your oven for 5 or 10 minutes with your topping, and you don't have to thaw it. Otherwise, you'd have to thaw it for the day, or it'll cook it longer in your tin. So since I am, sometimes you just have to be super fast at things, so that's a really good tip there. I like to spray that. Make sure that you put all the directions on this is a gallon-sized freezer bag, and this is a 2.5 gallon. I like to put them in bags so that the flavors don't leach into the other. As I mentioned, I have berries in my freezer, which are huckleberries, and they're very strong, so you don't want your dinners to taste like that. So mark what it is. Oddly, you get the meals in your freezer and they all look the same. And then put the directions. We'll stick the directions in here as well. Oftentimes, like things like this, to help dump whatever you're making in is very helpful as well. So with that, my time is up. I have liked doing freezer meals so much, and there's some I would really like you to try a few. And if you don't like them, discard them and try some others. There's some really great ones out there. And you'll see a lot of barbecued items as well. And that's because they freeze so great.